Hello Feather Buzzers, Andrew James here with another Lightroom tip, and I want to talk to you about an area that I think I've touched on lots of different videos, but not specifically looked at in a smaller quick tip. And I think that these things can be quite useful for you to refer back to. I hope they are anyway. So we're going to look at the adjustment brush, and specifically something to do with the adjustment brush where it can go wrong if you're not careful, but I'm going to show you where that can be and how to work around it. So I've got a picture in front of me taken in the Faroe Islands of Gassadula waterfall. I think that's how you pronounce it. Well, I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it, but it's how I pronounce it. Faroese won't pronounce it that way. And it's a really good example of what I want to do, because when I shot it I couldn't use a graduated filter. The sky is a little bit lighter than it was at the time, and I want to bring out the mood of it. So to do that I'm going to select an adjustment brush. Here it is for people, if you're absolute beginner to Lightroom, sits up here. It's the last one in the little tools at the top, and I can just click on it, or I can hit K on the keyboard and it will open it up, and there you go. As you can see, we have a nice clean slate of sliders that have opened up down here. I've got a feather on of about 50. That's kind of, at this point doesn't particularly make it relevant, but that's where I tend to start working. Now what I want to look at particularly is the auto mask, or the use of auto mask. I haven't always liked auto mask because it can come with an issue, and I'll show you what it is. We're going to click on it here, and then I'm going to hover over the lighter tones of the sky, and I'm going to click down and start brushing over that area. But I'm going to hit O so you can see where I'm brushing. Oops, sorry, it's disappeared. There we go. So you can see the red coming through, and I'm going to keep going. So as long as I'm over that, keep it on that lighter toned area. As a general rule, it's going to do a pretty good job of masking that area automatically, because it knows I want to tone. So it's not done so well over there, but that's about fine. I don't need to do all that lighter area anyway, so that's okay. So that's pretty good, isn't it? That's not a bad job. Let's just zoom in on that, and as you can see, if we zoom in, it's picked up obviously the line between the darker area of the cliffs and then the sky area too, and that could be a problem, and I'll show you why. I just want to get rid of the mask. If I was to go drastic on that area, let's go right back. I want to go really moody. Let's just zoom out a second so you can see that. Look, whoa, look at that mood. Actually, that was pretty close to what it was like. Look, my brush mark work is horrible down here, but I'm not going to worry too much about that at this point. This is just an exercise. If I go, we zoom back in again now, you can see what I mean. Look at that. It's like someone's taken a pencil and worked their way along the cliff top. So it is really nasty. And that's what can happen if you use auto mask and you overdo the exposure adjustments. Okay, and I see it a lot. I see it in a lot of images sent to me for critique in Digital Camera magazine. Not that anyone else really gets in, because I just use you guys. And it's horrible. I just think, oh, why have you done that? However, let's just take the exposure slider back, and let's see what happens with it as we go back and we lighten that sky area again. Minus kind of 1.28. It's still fairly obvious, but we keep going back to say, I don't know, maybe about -1. Actually, that's not too bad. That edge, the edge of it has lightened enough that it's not that obvious, but we have still, we zoom out, we have still, hold on, sorry, zoom out, thank you, we have still darkened quite a bit of the sky itself. And that's great. So the auto mask there, used relatively subtly. I mean, I might be inclined to go back even more on that. Let's go back here. So that's where we started, isn't it? So we're just gonna, so that's at pretty much naught. Well, it's not quite naught. They are pretty much naught. And then we bring it back to the left, and we've got darker, -34, -45. Right, okay, so that's darkened it off enough to start the process, okay? Because what we're going to do now is we're going to select a new adjustment brush, okay? So we're going to have a second one. So in effect, we're going to make a gradient, if you like, of the process. We're going to feather. So this time, I'm going to select the area here, this moody area here, and some of this area up there, and then I'm going to make the brush a little bit smaller, and I'm going to go over just above the cliff tops, the mountain tops area there, but at no point am I going to go take the feather anywhere near that edge. Okay, so if I hit 0, again you can see where I've brushed. I might just brush over a bit of that. I say this is a kind of not doing this quite as well as I should be, but for this purpose I think showing you the exercise it's okay. So let's get rid of that naught, and now I'm going to take that back again on the slider, let's go -50, about like that. It looks pretty reasonably natural. Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, it's bringing out the mood in that sky. But importantly, if I'm to zoom in here, not much edge going on. A little bit coming in, so I'm just going to take it back, but actually if we were to zoom out on that, you'd never see that. Yeah, that's about right. So I could probably, if I wanted to, I could also bring a bit of black into that and darken it off a bit more. Fraction, yeah, it does. I don't know if you can see that, it's quite subtle, but I can see it clearly on my screen. By the way, if you are struggling to see the detail on this happening, then you need to check that you are watching this in HD. You can change the settings at the bottom. This is recorded in HD, so as long as your internet connection is good enough, it won't necessarily automatically play it to you in HD. If your internet connection is good enough though, you can change that setting. I'm afraid if you don't have a great internet connection, then it might not let you play it in HD because your bandwidth isn't good enough. Anyway, that's pretty much all I want to show you. It's just that way to kind of grade, if you like, your adjustment brushes, but get the benefit of auto mask so that you're doing some of it sky area. This way you avoid those horrible halos that you can get and see as well, and you also avoid that horrible what I call pencil line that's that can really show that you've been using brushes, because everything that you do in Lightroom, as I always say, should be good, subtle, natural looking changes. Okay, I hope you have a really good Christmas. If I don't speak to you or chat to you on the lounge before then, people from Photo Buzz, and we'll see you with some new content in the new year. Bye.